This industry is insidious. You have coaches, coaching coaches, coaching coaches, coaching coaches. Everyone makes the same claims, runs the same ads, and uses the same funnels. We have served over 1,000 coaches, consultants, agencies, and online service providers over the past few years, and I can tell you it has never been more competitive than it is today. And just claiming that you're the best or care about your clients the most or that you have dozens of testimonials simply doesn't cut it anymore. Everybody else is saying the same thing. And imagine how it feels for your prospects. People are overwhelmed with options and information. It's no wonder that there's an epidemic of low show rates and low close rates in our industry. To stand out in this sea of sameness, most entrepreneurs are forced to offer money-back guarantees or make bigger and bolder claims or even offer custom done-for-you one-on-one work. This inevitably leads to improper expectations, lower profit margins, and more refunds and chargebacks. I have found a solution, however. One that will require a little more work than just copying the next ad you see in your Instagram feed. But the results can be astronomical. It's called a unique mechanism. And I'm sure you think that you've heard of what a unique mechanism is. Maybe you're even sure you have one in your business, but I can almost guarantee this is not the case. By the very definition, a unique mechanism needs to be unique. And so it stands to reason that it's very unlikely everybody has a unique mechanism. This is how we define a unique mechanism for our clients. Number one, it can't just be a small change to something in your marketplace. It needs to be radically different. It needs to put you in a totally separate category in your prospect's mind. Number two, depending on how saturated your marketplace is, you likely can't just make bolder claims or offer money-back guarantees because that's not going to put you in that separate category. Number three, it needs to follow a chain of logic. You should be able to create a campaign argument around it about why it makes sense and why it's different than everything else they've tried previously. You can't just make stuff up like Ravi's 10 rules to scaling because quite frankly, nobody really cares about Ravi. The first law in the 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing book states that it's better to be first than better. This is because those who are first in the prospect's mind for a specific category get outsized returns on their marketing. This is what Russell Brunson did with sales funnels and Sam Ovens did with online consulting. They literally made tens of millions of dollars in the first few years of launching it. To help drive this point home, let me give you two examples of how this has worked for me. The first was in my real estate advertising agency, Prospect Social. In the first 9 months of business, we generated right around $3,000, which is kind of not great. But after doing some research online, we implemented an in-house call center, which would call, email, and text my clients' leads 12 times in 5 days in order to get them qualified and booked on my client's calendar. Within 90 days, we hit our first $50,000 month. Literally nothing else had changed in our business, but we were the first people in our industry to offer this. Another example is when we launched our current company, Scaling with Systems. I launched Scaling with Systems because I was having so much success in my advertising agency, and a lot of my friends in that space were reaching out and asking me how I did it. At the time, most of my success centered around my use of virtual assistants to do all of my outreach and client fulfillment work for me. So when we first launched Scaling with Systems, I offered my clients to do exactly that. We would find, interview, train, and place virtual assistants inside their business for $3 to $5 an hour. Once again, we were the first in our industry to offer trained placements of employees. We generated right around $100,000 in the first 30 days of that offer. I still remember getting hundreds of inbound messages a day of people trying to work with us and being able to generate $30 qualified book calls on Facebook because it was so radically different than what everybody else was offering or doing. The only issue is that once somebody sees that you're doing well, they're gonna copy and paste the same thing for their business, which is exactly what has happened to us hundreds of times over again. But like I said earlier, it's better to be first than it is to be better. And if you can train yourself to continuously find or create unique mechanisms for your business, you will always be ahead of your competition and you'll always have outsized returns on your marketing.